Good afternoon and welcome to this agenda review meeting of the Nacogdoches Independent School District Board of Trustees. Let the record show that a quorum of the board is present and that this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Open Meeting Act. Board members, Mr. Farshid and Ms. Pitcock, are unable to attend the meeting today. I'd like to remind everyone that all items on the agenda today are for discussion. No action will be taken in this particular meeting. Please join us with turning your cell phones to silent mode. We didn't receive any requests to address the board as outlined in the meeting notice for public comment. And with that, we'll go right into the budget workshop. Ms. Bobrick.
Good afternoon, President Irvin, board members, Dr. Trujillo. So today's budget workshop is going to be short and sweet. It's just an introduction to moving forward with our budget for next year. So our agenda includes budget calendar, enrollment projections, staffing standards, and revenue projections. So on the page 2, we have our budget calendar for the year. And in yellow, I've highlighted where board members are involved in the budget. So you'll find today's agenda review on there. On the next page, we have our historical enrollment. So in it, I've got a 5-year history and then this year's estimated enrollment. So back in 1819, pre-COVID, we were at 6249. And we have declined each year since then. And then this year, we actually have finally made a little bit of a jump. So this year we're projected to have, that is our snapshot enrollment of 5943. So on the next page, we have what I do is I roll our enrollment up for the next year, assuming everybody passes their grade. But also, I want you to notice on pre-K, it's currently at 232, and I've upped it to 300 because we are moving to a larger facility, and we currently are at capacity and could be taking more. So I've upped it. I didn't up it to its maximum, but it is a significant increase there. So next year, we're projecting an increase again in enrollment of 5,997. And then projecting our ADA based on enrollment, we've had a 4-year average attendance rate of 90.5%. So that puts us at ADA of 5,432 ADA. And below that, you'll see where I have 91%, 91.5%, 92%. If we were to get our attendance rate up, that's how much more money we would receive. So just a half a percentage brings in a little under $200,000. So it's always important to have accurate attendance and to have our students there at school. Because you have to pay for things whether the student's there or not, so it's important to have them there so you get the funding for it. The next several pages are the staffing standards that we used last year. At this point in time, we're going to continue using those, but that will likely be tweaked as we look at our programs, what's effective, and talking to principals.
Did you say decrease?
Pardon?
Did you say decrease or increase?
It will be tweaked.
Oh, tweaked.
Yes.
Neither. You said neither.
I think I said tweaked, but
Okay.
And in these staffing standards, you see what TASB recommends and then what we have done. And typically, we are do better as far as staffing ratios than TASB's recommendation. And then we have our revenue projections. So 22-23, our current revenues are at $60,341,792. And because of increase in our enrollment in ADA, as well as an increase in our taxes, property taxes, and then a small increase in our investment earnings, I'm projecting that we will increase by about $2 million. This property tax discussion, this is a requirement that we have to discuss, and I will bring it up in other agenda, in other budget workshops. So in the past, well, not in the past, but our state funding is tied to what we collect in property taxes. The better we do in property taxes, the more they reward you in state funding. In the past, our state funding was based on prior year property tax collections. So we knew an actual amount, but there could be a lag. You could do really good in the current year, but you wouldn't benefit from it till the next year. They changed that. So now it's based on current year property tax collections. But you don't know what that is till the end of the year. So you don't know what you collect till the end of the year.
So there's not really any way of projecting that then?
Well, no, that's what it is. You have an estimate
Just projecting
then.
to see, okay,
Right.
kind of get an idea.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. And that's part of, like, this year, when I estimated property taxes, I estimated low, and they ended up coming in much better, and I took it to you an amendment a couple of months ago to increase our revenues, and that's why that is. And that concludes my presentation. Do you have any questions?
No questions.
I have a statement. When we looked at these enrollment, we had 29 more in the ninth grade, 41 in the sophomore year, 12 as juniors, and 53 more seniors. That means we're going to graduate. So we not only picked up more, but that right there is about 100 and something. I didn't have time to add it all up, but if we just put it together, it's 120, 130 of the 200 new ones. So there's got to be something at the high school that's getting more people there. And I think we might look at the top people and all the teachers that do that. So that's really good.
That's good.
President Irving, one of the things to be mindful of as we're going through this legislative session, I appreciate Dr. Groman. He's going to represent the board to be able to go look at something that's going to be happening. And then those of us that are listening to some of the things that are going on legislative-wise, just to be aware that a lot of the formula that you just heard about is based on ADA. The average daily attendance has been that way forever. But conversations are now looming around the fact of changing the formula and looking at enrollment versus ADA. I'm interested in seeing what that and how that would benefit us, because if Lisa said it perfectly. She said we're still going to have to pay for the electricity, whether there's all the kids are there or not. We're going to have to pay for every staff member. So as the state starts possibly moving toward an enrollment formula-based, I think it would be something beneficial to explore and look at the benefits of what it may be. So as we're moving forward and we start planning, just know that that's a conversation that will change the dynamics. So down the road, if you have a presentation from Ms. Barbrick that comes back, possibly the change in it would be it's the shift from ADA over to enrollment. Just an FYI as we navigate this new era with the legislators. So.
Dr. Trujillo, do you see when that might occur? Is it like over the year? Is it within the next 6 months, or is it, I mean?
It probably would happen within the next fiscal year, but then there'll be a lot of updating and training that needs to happen. With that comes a lot of possibly some policy adjustments and changes that we'd have to do, because that whole changes the dynamic statewide. So it's hard to say if it's going to be, but once legislator puts it in law, and they make it, then TEA needs to put it in language, and then we have to make it, we need to make it move forward. I just didn't want us to not be surprised, and to the community, that is a dialogue that's happening, is looking at enrollment versus ADA, which makes sense, because it still costs us the same amount, whether you've got all the kids there or not. You're still going to pay your teachers, you're still going to keep your utilities running, you're still going to run the same buses, you still got to run your same routes that you have, even if you're not picking up all the kids. So it's something that's, for myself, it's worth leaning forward and listening to the dialogue as the legislators have this conversation. But no, I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen as soon as legislators make that decision. So
I did get that number total. It's 135. And there is another thing that came to mind. Our CTE building has come online, and the remodel of the inside, and the people that are all in that program who we're honoring this month, I think they might have had something to do with that too.
absolutely, I think, and Coy's out here in the audience, but I will tell you, right now as we speak, we've got tremendous success. The board, you've seen some of the, just in the last week, where our kids are at. They're traveling all over the state for a number of competitions, for a number of activities. That speaks volumes, and that attracts, and so we're doing some great things in building a reputation for Nacogdoches ISD, and it's something to be noticed. So if you're looking for a good school system, here we are. Here we are.
Great. Thank you. With that, we'll move right to the budget amendments, donations under $2,500, investment report, and purchases. Ms. Barber.
Good afternoon again. So I'd like to begin with our budget amendments. Budget Amendment A is budget funds to be received for the insurance payout for the Suburban that was totaled in a vehicle accident, and apply that amount towards a new Suburban. That is, we are going to receive $25,176 for that Suburban. That won't be enough to purchase a new Suburban, but that's addressed in the next budget amendment. Budget item B, budget funds from investment earnings and apply as noted below. So I'm increasing our investment earnings by $170,050. $20,738 will go towards the remaining portion of that Suburban. We had a security audit that was required by the state this year, and applying $11,500 towards that. Plant Services is in great need of replacing custodial and maintenance grounds equipment. So $51,812 will go towards that, as well as he would like to purchase a 12-foot Exmark mower and replace 2000 model Gators, and so that would be $86,000.
Just a question, what are we purchasing as it relates to the grounds equipment?
It's several things. It's blowers, a lot of
Okay,
different kind of
yes.
blowers, edgers, things like,
Weed eaters and stuff like that?
yes.
Okay,
Good investment, I think.
yes, sir.
And that's a really good mower.
Budget item C, we received funds from FEMA for the ice storm, and so we would like to purchase a 96-inch Exmark mower and a lift, both of these for Plant Services, for a total of $48,788. Item D, budget funds received for athletic facility use and its associated expenses. So the revenue we've received is $4,514, and same amount for expenditures to manage those rentals. Item E, pull funds from fund balance to begin replacing band equipment damaged in the flood, and any future insurance payout will replace these funds that we are now pulling from fund balance. And as of, it's still in progress, but as of now, he has spent $275,215 replacing equipment. And the final budget amendment, pull funds from fund balance to purchase a walk-in freezer for student nutrition. That's $300,000. Again, she has to get her fund balance down, and this is a needed purchase for student nutrition. Any questions on the budget amendments?
Just a question on that, the walk-in freezer. Is that just gonna be like to replace it and hook it up, and is all that included, or?
It's not a replacement, it's in addition.
Okay.
And this going to the central kitchen, or is it going to somewhere
Actually, I
else?
believe this is at the high school.
At the high school, okay.
Next are our budget our donations under $2,500.
Could I back up to ask, where are we with our fund balance? I'm seeing we estimated to be around 1.4 million
Let me go back now.
on fund balance.
So, on the, page 26, down at the bottom, we have our audited beginning fund balance of $46,644,741. We have pulled out almost 17 million so far this year from fund balance. About 12 million of that went to capital improvements. So that's just sitting in a different fund. The rest of those funds, that about 5 million, was what we pulled out for incentives, as well as things that needed to be finished from prior years, such as capital projects. So we are estimating we'll have an ending fund balance of $29,446,000.
Okay.
Donations, we received Christmas gifts for students and students' children. It was given to the social workers from Roya Dembali and the High School National Honor Society. Athletics received $200 from Claudia Rodriguez for boys soccer. And Regay received $2,000 from Novel Engineering Program from NIPCO. Next are investments. This past month, we earned $188,956 in investments. And so one thing I've been doing with these investments, every month I've been bringing you a budget amendment to, because I budgeted so low at the beginning of the year, and we are using that for one-time purchases to get us through the year on things we need. And I will take any other questions you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Barbrick. Now we'll go to our Medica, Dr. Corley.
Good afternoon, President Irvin, board members, and Superintendent Trujillo. I'll be presenting the next 3 agenda items on behalf of the Career and Technology Education Department. The CTE department, under the direction of Chloe Van Valkenburg, was notified late last fall that they had received a grant from the Texas Workforce Commission, and the name of the grant is called Jobs in Education and Training. As part of the grant application, the following 3 quotes were submitted as part of that process as identified needs that are specifically for the EMT training and certification program at CTE department. So the first one, How Medica, is specifically for, it's like a student cot that has a power load attachment that will be hooked into an ambulance simulator. This will allow students to receive real-time feedback on the services they're providing. They'll be able to interact like with peer reviews to observe each other and identify things that are going well or things that need to be adjusted. It also provides a space for students and their self-reflection on the practice of EMT. We're asking the board approval for the total cost of $57,577.56.
Thank you.
Any
questions?
questions about the How Medica?
I think it'll be a good addition for the kids to
Yes,
be
sir.
able to do that.
The second item is the rescue simulation, and this is an actual ambulance simulator. If you can picture the back of an ambulance where students can actually sit in the back of the ambulance and perform different emergency medical tasks to provide them that real-time or real-feeling experience. This too is part of the grant, and we're asking for board approval of a total cost of $43,000. I'm on the wrong, hang on, bear with me, please. Yes, that's right, $43,185.
Wow.
Any questions regarding the ambulance simulator?
I can say this is wonderful, and it appears this might be expensive, but considering for medical things, this is not expensive. Now, if these children or students were to go out and pay to be an EMT, this makes this even look more reasonable, because now they can get it and they get credit here and they get certification right here for no charge, and then they can go out and go work everywhere around this area.
Absolutely.
So this is a huge service to our community, and it's a huge effort for y'all to get this carried out, and we appreciate that. We want to give you good equipment so you can do your job well and help our outside, all these communities, not just in Nacogdoches County, but surrounding counties. We'll send our kids anywhere they can get a job.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
The third item agenda is for CAE Healthcare Incorporated. This is also part of the JET grant. This purchase is for an interactive mannequin. And so that's exciting because the students will be experiencing simulated scenarios that they respond to, and they're able to apply the practice of EMT. The total cost of this equipment is $43,690. I'd be happy to try to answer any questions.
You guys have a better memory than I do, but I think we met a student, like around this time last year, who was getting certified in EMT, because I was so shocked that we had a program that was far enough along that he could actually get some certification. So it's very exciting that we're able to enhance it to this degree. And you mentioned that it's really cheap, relatively speaking, but our public doesn't, they're not looking at what I'm looking at. And we're talking about, this is 5% of the total cost of what it would be, right? So 5%, that's just nothing, and that really helps us understand how expensive all this will be. Now, in saying that, Coy, did you apply for this grant? Who?
Yep.
Thank you. Yes,
Awesome.
who helped you? I can't hear you.
Mr. Lass?
Oh, Jacob, okay. I'm usually better at reading lips, but Well, thank you so much, because that is a lot of work. Applying for grants are maddening, and they're daunting. And you look at everything the information they want, and then how you have to keep up with it all. I really appreciate you doing this, because this is paying off big time. Thank you, yeah.
Absolutely. I don't know, Doc, maybe you can answer this question. How is the warranty, replace and repair when it comes to medical equipment?
Expensive. There's warranties in here.
Right, I saw it, yeah.
There's insurance in there. But the other thing I didn't mention is Workforce Solutions. They're the one that provided the grant. We thank them.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
indirectly have brought this about. If we had seen all this money at one time, it would be a little difficult to get it on our budget, but because you all have asked and they responded, so we want to thank them for supporting our students in this county.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank y'all so much.
But
Thank
just
you.
to clarify, the numbers that you read out were the total cost.
Those were the total costs.
So NISD is only paying 5% of that, so,
Yes, ma'am. This
I
was
mean,
a
that's...
5% match grant. Yes, ma'am?
Yep, okay.
Oh, thank you for that clarification.
Yeah,
Reverend Irvin, what's exciting is when you have a leader that's working with a CTE department, yes, we had kids that were coming out and being certified, and we can continue to do the things that we've done in the past, but by taking this and partnering up with the JET grant, with the Texas Workforce Commission, and you saw the narrative that's here, the amazing thing is you don't have to come in with an ambulance and tell the kids what's in the mannequin by itself, the technology that these kids are going to get as far as the mannequin. 5 years ago, I saw an amazing mannequin that kids were using. It doesn't even compare to the technology because we're purchasing things that haven't even arrived yet that are going to be in the hands of the kids. And so for them to see a mannequin, to look inside of an ambulance, be able to see all the simulation of all the things that are there, the certification that these kids are going to have and the preparation that they're going to be able to move forward with is exciting. You pair this up with our OTC program, our OTC, kids that want to go into the military side of it, and they partner themselves up with something like this, their opportunities are wide open in all the different areas they can have. So I commend Coy for her leadership with this, but also know that she's getting bombarded with a lot of opportunities. So I do appreciate that she pushes back and says, not yet, and as we're building the program. And so to Coy and to every one of those CTE teachers that are up there that are providing the support, we applaud them all for the hard work that they're doing. If you want to see enrollment, why it's going up, this is why it's going up. It's things like this that we're providing opportunities for our kids to let them know that we want to provide our kids with a well-rounded, relevant opportunity to go out there and be productive citizens, not just in Nacogdoches, but in East Texas. So this is exciting for us. So kudos to Coy, her department, all the CTE teachers that are out there, and the Texas Workforce Commission, who's constantly thinking about us and inviting us to come to the table. And sometimes we have to say, not right now, but we'll come to the table eventually to provide these opportunities. So once again, I join the board in congratulating you, Coy, with the group of teachers that you have. Great group of folks.
Dr. Healy, I'm sure, I'm not just speaking for myself, but I'm sure the board will be interested in seeing the items once they arrive, if we could maybe go over and take a tour and look. I know I would be excited to see the new equipment. Thank you. Because the board, I guess we didn't move fast enough, we weren't able to purchase the vehicle. So you can scratch that off the agenda, and hopefully more to come up real soon.
Yes, now, we're still going to be working on the Chevrolet item, but we were not fast enough with the Ford F-250, so Lisa.
So here is a perfect example of how hard it is to get a vehicle. And so the number 2, the Lufkin Ford vehicle is being pulled. But we do want to purchase the Chevrolet Suburban, 2023 Suburban from Lake County Chevrolet. That is to replace the Suburban that was in the accident. And at a cost of $45,913.75.
But we don't want to lose that one.
No.
So we want to stay on top of it. Thank you. Okay, we'll go to 215 Consulting. Mr. Martin.
Thank you, President Irvin, members of the board, Dr. Trujillo. Administration is recommending hiring 215 Consulting for design and construction drawings for the Nacogdoches ISD Plant Services Department, including a general site layout plan, site drainage and grading plan, site paving plan, site dimension plan, site erosion control plan, the necessary civil site details, and necessary civil site specifications for the amount of $32,000. Administration recommending the board's approval of the $32,000 to come out of general fund. We'll be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
So, the parking is done? The pavement?
No,
the place-
this is for, Ralph, you want to step up to the microphone? This is for plant services, looking out where we have all the vehicles that are parked out there with
Right.
regards to our maintenance and operations. We invest thoroughly with a lot of equipment. We got mowers, we got trailers, we got the Princess trailers that are going to be arriving, a lot of equipment that come out there. And I was having this conversation with Mr. Martin. When was the last time we did anything out on that piece of property?
That's easy.
Never.
We took that over from transportation. County Transportation had that facility. The only pavement that is out there is whatever they had left over after pavement jobs. They just kind of dumped it out in spots.
Yeah.
So it's never been professionally paved or,
So is that on our agenda, right?
It is, that's,
Okay. Because that can mess up the front end of the
I
vehicles.
don't, at this time, I do not have to worry about my employees speeding in our parking lot. Pretty rough. It's kind of like the old transportation parking lot used to be.
Wow,
Pretty rough.
okay.
I just had a question regarding the stuff that's not included in this. Is there a reason why it's not included? Would it be more costly to have that, or it's not necessary?
Not necessary.
Okay.
It's real reasonable. I think good price.
well, we want to be good neighbors, because when we start doing this work, if we don't do this right, we can become enemies very quickly with our neighbors, because water tends to flow downhill. And so this is where we've got to make sure that we're doing this the right way, so we can take care of our neighbors in that area, but also take care of our property that we have, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With that, we'll move to the discussion section. Mr. Martin, for the first reading of the TASB policy update, 120 local policies.
Thank you, President Irvin. Texas Association of School Boards, or TASB, Policy Update 120, includes revisions to policy that is listed below. Although legal policies are included in this policy manual update from TASB for your review, only local policies are to be considered for approval by the board. Appropriate department and staff have reviewed these TASB revisions and agree with the changes made by TASB on these different policies here. Your policies touch anything from your board members' elections all the way down to student discipline and policy FO local. Administration is recommending that the board approve the first reading and the additions or revisions and deletions of the policies that are recommended by TASB Policy Services for the TASB Policy Update 120. Be happy to
Just-
answer any questions.
Just out of curiosity,
Yes, sir.
so I know these are recommended by the state, right?
By TASB,
By TASB. So, for instance, if a board chose or didn't agree with TASB,
Yes, sir.
then how would that turn out?
We would then sit down and come up with what the board wants, with what they want.
And submit that
then
to-
submit that, yes, sir.
Oh,
So we have that option?
we have
Yes,
that
sir.
option.
Yeah, always.
Not that I was thinking of, I disagree with
Sure.
anything. Yeah, just,
It's the board's policy, so whatever the board wants to add in there or take out, the administration will be happy to oblige.
okay. Board, if it's okay, can we have that moved to the consent agenda?
Yes.
The adoption of the first reading.
The changes are, kind of ridiculous. Okay, I've got that, it's now recorded, okay, fine, but, anyway. It's just language, it was just language. I got you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore.
Thank you.
I think one thing maybe for the public to know, this was 404 pages to
Yeah.
review. And so it's quite comprehensive, and there are some additions in this in my reading. I just go through and look for the blue and the red.
Yes.
Right.
And that saves a lot of time, but this is comprehensive, and there are some good things in here that will update us, and that's good. There's some things that are just taking an abbreviation and put it all written out, and then some, it's all written out and they put an abbreviation, so that's lawyer
Or
stuff.
they rearrange prepositional phrases. Big deal.
Anyway, so this is good because overall it's going to help our district.
Thank you, Dr. Rubin.
Did you guys enjoy the Super Bowl?
Absolutely, we did.
I did, it was good.
It was good.
I didn't watch it.
Ms. App, I don't have anything else to discuss. Is there anything you would like to discuss?
No, I'm good.
Ms. Latoya?
No, I'm good.
Doc?
No, sir, no.
I'm good.
You good? Dr. Groman?
I said everything now because I won't be here for
Thursday.
Thursday.
Thank you for representing us. Thank you.
Okay.
Are you waiting on me? I'm sorry. I move that we adjourn.
For a second?
I second.
So be it. We are adjourned.